Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham, and welcome back to our Tour de France coverage. It's the 2021 Tour de France, a stage one betting preview. We'll also have a look at some of the outright markets. Well, I can't believe it's tour time again. Last year's tour, of course, taking place very late in the year. And this one also catching me a bit off guard. I thought we'd have our traditional first Saturday in July start, but it's starting a week early. Work been pretty busy, so I haven't had a chance to really sink my teeth into some of the outright markets yet. That won't last long. I can tell you I'm definitely going to be getting involved and posting any bets on the Good for the Game forum. Let's start though. Just having a look at the outright betting. We've got the defending champion Pogačar. He's 18-10, the same price as his Slovenian countryman who he beat in that thrilling time trial last year. And may I say, I was shouting him home. There's a picture of me my family took. I was actually standing right up against the TV shouting him home because I had him at 14-1. Roger, though, your heart had to break for him, and he's determined to make amends this year. It looks a two-horse race on the face of it, but you've got the Ineos trio then just behind Geraint Thomas, Richard Carapaz, and Richie Porte. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they use the likes of Porte and also Tao Geoghegan-Hart to try and disrupt the Jumbo-Visma and the UAE teams. Must say, Pogačar's got a stronger team with him this year, in my opinion, than he had last year. Should be a thrilling race. If I had to pick a winner at this stage, I would take him, but I just think there's going to be value along the route, and I'm going to get involved in some of the other markets rather. Julian Alaphilippe, I see they've snuck him in there. World Sports betting at 22-1. I can't have him to win this outright. Let's have a look at the next jersey, and it's the points classification. And this should be an interesting one this year. You know, it's a very sprint-heavy Tour de France, which I'm not really a fan of. I prefer a bit more stuff in the mountains. But there are going to be a number of sprint finishes, and that's going to suit Caleb Ewan. He's going to pick up big points. There's a big points difference, even between first and second place on the flat stages. And that's why he's the favorite here at 22-10, with Peter Sagan, who dominated this for many a year, and lost last year to Sam Bennett, who has pulled out with injury. So he is not here to defend his title. But Sagan will be looking to place high in some of the bunch sprints, perhaps even take a few points on the likes of Ewan in stages 1 and 2. Arnaud Demar, well, he's a runner in this as well at 28-10. You've got Wout van Aert. The problem with him is, he can certainly pick up early points, and he's got the ability, I believe, to win this as he pleases if that's what he focuses on. But he will be working for Roglic in the mountains, and there are going to be times where he loses out on opportunities to take points. Sonny Colbrelli, he's my dark horse for the points race. You know, he's climbing brilliantly. I'm hoping he gets points maybe on the first couple of stages. I will be having a nibble and posting any of my long-term bets in the Good for the Game forum thread. The link is down below the video. But Colbrelli is the guy that I think could be my roughie here for the green jersey, and you can get 14-1 and better the balance. Let's go into the final long-term market I want to have a look at, and that's the King of the Mountains. And Pogačar here is 8-1. He, of course, won the King of the Mountains last year, pipping poor old Richard Carapaz in that final time trial to take that. Roglic, well, he's also a big runner this year at 10-1. And then you got Martin at 10-1, very exciting rider, and his team, Cofidis, will be focusing on this jersey, I believe. Very interesting. Read a lot about the King of the Mountains jersey. I'm of the opinion that it does favor the guys who are going to be contending for the race. You know, you've got that critical stage there where you climb Mount Ventoux twice, and the second time you get double points. Now, because it's not a summit finish, there's a chance that a breakaway could still be leading at that point. But I think with Roglic likely to take time in the individual time trial, I think the first one is on stage 5. You're going to get the likes of Pogačar and Ineos, for that matter, attacking on those climbs. I don't think breakaways are necessarily going to stay away, and I think it's going to be very hard for anyone else to fend off the contender. Pogačar would be my pick at 8-1 mark, but once again, that bet will be placed in the forum. Just to mention some support I've seen for Nairo Quintana. He came in from 25-1 to 14-1. He has stated that he's not going for the GC this year, so may well be focusing on this. And another guy just down towards the bottom there, Warren Barguil. Interesting to see how he goes, but the 22-1, a little bit short for me. We'll pop onto the stage betting now, and before we have a look at the betting, let's quickly have a look at the profile. And this is not a typical Tour de France start by any means. It's on the face of it looks a flattish stage, but have a look at all those red numbers there. We've got plenty of King of the Mountains points out there. And although the climbs aren't long, it's certainly going to be something that a lot of the smaller teams and certainly some of the Frenchmen are going to be trying to wear that polka dot jersey at the end of the first day. The last 30 or so kilometers are very tough of this 197-kilometer stage. And in fact, the final 3 kilometers average 5.7%. But what makes it in particular very tricky is that the first kilometer of this climb is so hard. And it's going to be very tough for certainly any of the sprinters, and I include even the likes of Peter Sagan and Michael Matthews. to sort of hanging contention there. I guess what we can expect is a fairly big battle for the breakaway. Often on these flat stages, the traditional flat stages in the first week of the Tour de France, the break goes at kilometer 0. You get 3 no-hopers going out there, and the sprint teams just keep them in check. I am expecting something similar in the sense that I'm not expecting a strong break to get away. But I do think we may have a little bit of a more of a battle to get into the break because of the type of terrain we face there, and also because of the potential prize at the end of a yellow jersey. And perhaps you don't win the stage in the end, but maybe you pick up enough points to take the polka dot king of the mountain. So we should be in for a very interesting stage. Weather looks to play ball tomorrow. It doesn't look to be too bad. And as we come into the last 30 kilometers as well, you're going to have the GC teams like Ineos, Jumbo Visma, UAE, trying to work their men up to the front because these are narrow roads. And they want to be well positioned at the bottom of the final little climb. At the same time, you're going to have, of course, all the teams that are fancy winning this, and we'll go through the betting now, to have their riders well positioned. So this should be a frantic stage. Unfortunately, yes, there are bound to be accidents. Let's just hope no one is badly done by, but also that we don't lose any of the big contenders in any of the jerseys. Let's have a look at the stage betting then. And we've got that man, Mathieu van der Poel. It's his first Tour de France. I absolutely love this guy. I watch him in cyclocross. I watch him in mountain biking. He's one of those cyclists who doesn't hold back. He can attack from 60, 70 kilometers out. Although tomorrow that wouldn't be wise. He's certainly going to hang in here and try and make his move on the final climb. He's incredibly quick and incredibly strong on those climbs. He would probably want to have a gap on the likes of Wout van Aert before that final sprint, and I think he has got a chance of getting that perhaps on that short, steep start to the climb. At the same time, he'll be wanting to hang on as the GC guys push it. But for me, he's a very worthy favourite at 5-2. Wout van Aert, well, he's won the Belgium Championship the other day, so he is looking in form. There were some worries that he was not going to be quite right after, I think, an appendicitis operation. And Julian Alaphilippe, well, he probably is not suited by the last bit of the climb because it's fairly flat. But if he will certainly try and make his move on that sort of 900 meters steep start to the climb. And if he can pull a bit clear, well, you won't see him again. Sonny Cabrelli, I'll be hoping he picks up some points for the green jersey market. I'm going to keep my betting strategy fairly simple for this first stage of the Tour de France. I'm going Mathieu van der Poel here at 5-2. And I'm taking him at World Sports Betting, who've got the money back for second place on all the stages throughout the tour. Now, it's not going to appeal to me this on all of the stages because when I'm backing a 50-1 shot, do I really care if I get my few rand back for second place? But here we've got a 5-2 shot. And I think I can't look past the top 3 in the betting. Maybe Cabrelli sneaking in. I mean, there could be someone sneaking into the top 3. But I think one of these top 3 are going to win it. And I like Van der Poel. I've seen him dominate both of his market rivals at various stages this season. And I think if he's switched on for this one, he's going to win it. At least with this bet, we get the insurance that we get our money back if he runs second. Should be an absolutely cracking stage. I can't wait. Thanks for joining us, and do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these previews. We'll be having one for each and every stage. And of course, we'll also be having some rugby previews throughout the week as we get close to the British and Irish Lions series. Enjoy the stage, and we'll see you on stage 2, which should be another very exciting one with a short, sharp finish.